What is up, boys and girls? Now, I know something's been irritating you as much as it's been irritating me. It keeps falling down. What I did, basically, is the beams up in the roof that go to these pillars. So I'll put all these beams in to run this. I should have cut that in the middle of that joist, and I didn't cut it to the side. So I need to repair it. So bear with me, it's only been like it for ages. Right, so we're back on the zcar. So what we are doing is I jumped on the lathe earlier, yeah, and knocked up some of these. Look, let me get one out for you. Right, where's the camera? It's basically, it's just an M6 stud. So faced, cut the length, faced, chamfered, and then cleaned up where all of these are going to go in. And there's some longer ones for the double skin, there's some shorter ones for the single skin. Get in. 1, 2, 3. And 3 half turns is enough to get through. To be honest, it's not very thick tube anyway, but you know, we're enough in. So all of these have got them. This hole needs filling. This hole needs filling. This hole needs filling. There's an hole there that needs filling. There's an hole over there that needs filling. The ones along the bottom, I've got one stud in there. The rest are in the angle at the bottom, so that's okay. So these now are going to get TIG welded in. I'm going to TIG weld them because it's a lot neater, as in profile wise. So this is just going to get a nice TIG all the way around, so then it will become one with the material. These front ones then I've got to get drilled and filled. So I'm going to do that right before your eyes. Well, not before your eyes, but you know, something along the lines of that. Because these coils, do you know how expensive those coils are? Anyway, oh, this is a Simpson manifold, by the way. Lovely piece of kit, Simpson do. Right, so what we've done, so these ones have been bigged up, blenished down, nice and flush, all 4 of them. The extra holes have all been filled, blenished back, and then these, it's going to be really awkward to see. These have all been tigged all the way around, all of them. And I'll tell you what, that was not easy, I'm telling you, to get in and get all of them tigged. Especially when you got ones like that one down there, or them 2 down there. You know what I mean? There was a hole there when this has been filled. So all of those are now tigged. Oh God, it took ages. I must have resharpened my bloody tungsten about 50 million times. So now all these need cleaning. Cleaning up, a little bit of paint on them. And that firewall then is back to spec. Because that is basically like fully welding the hole up and then welding a stud to it. It's just the studs in there, but it's fully welded. So you're taking away the risk of cracking and fracturing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So tomorrow, clean all these up. To be honest, a lot of this is just like soot. Do you know what I mean? So we'll clean all that up. We'll just double check all of this stuff. I think we're going to do an oil change on it as well. I should have the oil here for this. I should have enough. So we'll drain the oil. Yeah, so I'll catch you tomorrow because it's 8:15 and I'm going to go chill in the house with my son. See you in a bit. Right, people, we're back. It's a new day. So I've cleaned these off, polished these up. I'm not quite sure what he wants to do because if you try and cover them with paint, you're going to notice them, aren't you? Because the odds of matching the white. You know what I mean? I reckon another year or so and this chassis could probably do with a repowder coat anyway. You know what I mean? Strip it out, blast it off, give it a nice lick of paint. So what he could do is buy that, you know, that clip-on carbon stuff that goes onto the roll bars. He could put some of that there, couldn't he? On both sides. Maybe up here, just to dull the sunlight. So, back end. All these studs are on, cleaned, ready to go, but I've left the firewall out because we're going to drain the oil out of it because it hasn't had an oil change. So give the go ahead on the oil. He also wants the chain changing for this type of chain I run now. So we've got to do that as well. He's also looking into, well, I'm looking into a fire extinguisher system for him because I think he agrees with the fire extinguisher system. So I have never done an oil change on one of these dry sump systems. And on the tank, there is no drain plug. Now thinking of this, when I had the tank modified, I should have put a drain port in the bottom, but I didn't. So, to drain off most of the way, if we look under said car, you've got your dry sump pan. Oh shit, I can't fit. I'm coming under, baby. Right, so this is where the hose comes in from the tank, about 4 inches from the bottom, 3 inches from the bottom. And there's another port here. I think this one, or is the one on the front turbo return? One of these is turbo return. I think if I take that out, the oil might come out the engine. So I'm going to drain that off. Drain until the tank, until it stops coming out the tank, basically. And then I think what I might have to do is suck the rest out of the tank. Because I want to get it all. Oh, I'm gone. And then the chain's got to come off. It's still in really good condition, but he already had to adjust it. So that's coming off the bed. So yeah. Right, so we've got to figure that out then. There's quite a bit of dust kicking around, but I think that's in my garage, to be honest. So we've got to get the oil out of here. Once the oil's out of it, we'll change the filter, which is located there. Pretty much, this water stopped leaking once I tightened those up. So they must have just been leaking from those hoses. So that was one thing we have sorted. But yeah, I do wish I'd have put a drain port in the bottom of that tank when I had it modified. It's all right thinking about it now, isn't it? Let me have a think about that, but let's get the oil out for now. I'm going to take that plug out. So, you can pull that out. There's like a filter in there. And it looks pretty clean. Oil was a touch milky. But this is why you've got to do a change. Because this is basically going to be running the engine in. And I think, I mean, you can't really see, but I think it just looks a bit milky. But it's a new engine, so ideally it should have already have had one oil change. So this is its first oil change. So I am expecting it to be not the freshest because there's all running oil, the braking oil in the motor. So it's basically filtered all that out. So yeah, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this hose here. Yeah, and suck the rest out the tank so we get it all out. I'm going to use my brake leader. I think, ideally, I don't know how you're supposed to completely drain the system. I don't know why they put that hose so high up. Unless you're supposed to lift the tank off. I don't know. Well, I'll finish draining that anyway, and I shall get the filter off and let that drain off. Right, so the oil's out. Filter's off. Now this filter kicked my ass. Somebody had seriously done that up. It was ridiculously tight. I mean, my tool dented it getting it off. Ridiculously tight. So, new filter's on. New oil is in. This is what I use. The Motul 1050. That's all I've ever used. Love the stuff. But if we look at what's come out of it, can you see how it's got like a yellow? It's like it's a bit of a creamy look in it. Yeah? So I don't know if you can see the lines appearing. But that, I am guessing, is gone milky because of the running in oil. because there's a touch left in here. So if we put this in here, come on, got to be something there. There we go. Just put that in there, because this is what I use in my booster, and it comes out the same as it goes in. It just looks beautiful and gold. Now that's the same oil. You see how it's not milky? See? So that, I'm guessing, is the running in oil that's in the engine, flushing out. See how you can just see it coming through the black line? Yeah? So that oil was due, 100% due. So I ended up taking that plug out. So ideally what this tank needs is it needs a fitting put on there, right at the bottom with a tap in it. But that, yeah. Anyway, oil's in. Next we've got to do is chain. I'm just letting the oil settle, because when I did some revision, yeah, you can't see it. You maybe can a little bit. It's just below the baffle. See it? That is where it's supposed to sit in one of these tanks, just below that baffle, not above, for the circulation purposes. So once it's cranked over and run, then I'll check that, throw more in if I have to. So I keep all this stuff in stock and filters and stuff here for mine. So next, shit the bed. What did I just say we were going to do next? Chain's got to come off. Chain has got to come off. But that's just a clip and a new chain going on. But I've got to order the chain. I've pushed this over the first three. It fitted like a dream, look. Beautiful. So that's all this firewall. I'm going to leave off until the fire extinguisher system has come. So new filters in there, as you can see. What else was I going to do? We do need to look at the airbox, but I think I might do that in a separate video because we need to try and save some weight.